Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Prince Albert police are asking for help in identifying a person seen in the area the night the Salvation Army was destroyed by fire. They've released surveillance video captured between 7:30 and 8 p.m. on December 25th in the Central Avenue area. The first video clip shows the person walking in an alley in the 900 block of Central Avenue close to the Salvation Army. The person can be seen taking off black pants, revealing gray pants underneath. Other video clips show different angles of the person walking in the area. Police say they aren't sure if this person knows anything about the Christmas Day fire or if they are a potential witness. If you have any information on this person, you are asked to call Prince Albert Police. You can watch the video in its entirety on our website, ctvnews.ca/Saskatoon. Jury selection in a Saskatoon murder trial got underway today. 23-year-old Caitlin Desjardins Kelly is on trial, charged with second-degree murder in the death of 48-year-old Arden Panapakisik. On February 10th, 2024, just before 7 a.m., police responded to a home in the 200 block of Avenue K North, where they found 48-year-old Panapakisik suffering from a gunshot wound. He died from his injury. Police have previously said that Panapakisik and Desjardins Kelly knew each other. 3 weeks have been set aside at Court of King's Bench for the trial. The First Nations health ombudsperson is calling for a number of changes in Saskatchewan hospitals. Responding to the province reviewing safety and security across the entire health authority, Diane Lafon says there needs to be an independent inquiry that doesn't involve the Ministry of Health or the SHA. Lafon says there have been a growing number of complaints about protective services with increasing severity in recent months. She says it's hospital security leaving people bruised, beaten, or in the case of Trevor Dubois, dead. She wants to see security where body cameras have security footage stored for longer than 30 days and have a third party investigate complaints towards security.
How they deal with complaints in general. You can't police yourself. You cannot do that. There's got to be an external body. That's why our office was created.
Lafon says there have been nearly 550 complaints made since her office was created in July 2023. The SHA says it will remain engaged with Lafon's office to build a safer, more culturally responsive health system. The dangerously cold temperatures in Saskatchewan are causing alarm among those who work with Saskatoon's unhoused population. One volunteer says there's an urgent need for additional supports, adding as shelters and warming spaces are seeing the busiest time of year, the provincial government is not enough to keep people safe during Saskatchewan's coldest months.
We saw one individual whose fingers were falling off. Absolutely. It's just horrifying. It's just horrifying. If I just took pictures of the hands of people alone who are living on the street, and you could see the number of missing digits and missing fingers, it would break your heart. It's just unacceptable.
Saskatoon currently has 3 warming shelter locations which operate overnight. It's been a little more than a year since an Alberta organization took control of the former Lighthouse building. The Mustard Seed is now offering supports for vulnerable residents in Saskatoon. Since opening in December, the Seed says it's served thousands of meals and connected people with housing supports, mental health resources, and employment programs. The Mustard Seed says its goal is more than just emergency relief. It wants long-term change. Nearby businesses say there's been a positive difference in the number of people hanging around the building and nearby businesses, making customers feel safer. The Downtown Business Improvement District says it's pleased with the progress and changes since the Mustard Seed took over.
With the Mustard Seed group coming in, we've seen a lot of stability. We've seen some great coordination, accountability, collaboration with us at downtown Saskatoon, as well as with our business community.
The Mustard Seed says it's focused on expanding partnerships and working with businesses, police, and community groups to address the shared issue of homelessness. Saskatoon police say the death of a woman found outside in the airport district Friday morning is not suspicious. Police were called to the 2100 block of Airport Drive at about 7 o'clock on Friday morning, where witnesses found the body of a woman outside a business. There's no word on whether the extreme cold played a factor in her death. Saskatchewan's coroner's service is investigating. RCMP are investigating a string of break-ins at vape shops in Warman and Martinsville. One in Warman was an armed robbery. Police have released these photos of a white Toyota RAV4 believed to have been involved in the armed robbery on December 13th. A total of 8 break-and enters plus the armed robbery happened between October 7th and December 30th. RCMP say in each incident there were 2 or 3 suspects wearing dark or black clothing who had their faces covered. Officers are now working to determine if the incidents are connected. Anyone who can help identify the white SUV in these photos that could be linked to the case is asked to contact RCMP. With Parliament set to resume following its winter break, Prime Minister Mark Carney is providing Canadians with a boost to the GST credit as part of the Canadian government's new affordability measures. Carney announcing Canada's groceries and essentials benefit, which Carney says will see the GST credit amount raised by 25% for 5 years and provide a one-time payment equivalent to the GST credit this year. Carney says under the existing GST credit, a family of 4 receives about $1,100, but with today's announcement, that same family will now receive up to $1,890 this year and about $1,400 a year for the next of 4 years. With the boost to the credit, a single person will receive $950 this year compared to the $540 they'd receive with the existing credit. That same individual will also receive about $700 a year for each of the next 4 years. Saskatchewan's Minister of Social Services says this is good news.
We know affordability, especially when you're trying to maybe feed your kids, and when you're trying to feed them healthy options as well. So every little bit like this helps, and we applaud the federal government for recognizing that need. And this is good news for those individuals who do receive a GST tax credit to be able to put that towards food or other essentials that they deem necessary.
Carney says about 12 million Canadians will benefit from today's announcement. A Saskatchewan filmmaker is using a vertical lens to showcase his movie, allowing people to watch from their phones while giving them the chance to decide the film's storyline.
So then you get call your ex or call your sister.
In the short film Singleness, viewers can pick how the movie unfolds by deciding the outcome of different scenes throughout the film. The production follows an international trend where filmmakers are starting to use vertical storytelling in their short films, allowing people to watch movies from their phones. Although the app to watch the film is based in the U.S., the Regina-based filmmaker says he takes pride in shooting and casting the entire movie locally.
It's really great kind of working with Saskatchewan talent to make something like this. I think that, we can offer this sort of like production value here that if you were doing the same production value in LA, it would just cost so much more. It'd be so much harder to do, but people are just excited to be a part of something cool here.
Already working on his next production, Sinclair says it's an exciting time to be a Saskatchewan filmmaker. Well, Jeff, if the weather was a choose-your-own-adventure, I think this adventure we'd all be okay with.
Well, certainly it's a far cry from the I'm not going to say tragedy, but certainly the dramatically cold temperatures we dealt with over the weekend, and things are starting to moderate. And, hey, maybe by the weekend it'll be much more of a rom-com because you'll be happy, you'll be maybe, your flight of fancy will turn to romance because you'll be feeling that much better because by the time we get to the weekend, temperatures are going to be decidedly milder than seasonal, and we'll talk about those numbers later on.
Some rare and unusual animals were on display this weekend in Saskatoon. The Wildlife Festival brought out sloths, porcupines, kangaroos, and snakes to Prairieland Park. Families came for a closer look at some exotic animals, as well as a chance to learn from the wildlife educators about the responsibilities that come with caring for these unique creatures.
And that's something that a lot of people come away from our shows learning is what might work for my family versus I want a kangaroo. I'm going to get a kangaroo. So it's super exciting to see them and be able to appreciate them, but also learn about them and maybe why some pets might work for a family and maybe other pets might not.
She says this weekend snakes were the most popular animal based on the reaction of many kids who visited. When we come back, prairie breweries adjust to changing times. Alison Bamford has more on how some are seeing a positive shift despite lower demand. Fewer Canadians are reaching for alcoholic drinks. Canada's craft brewing industry is juggling threats of inflation, U.S. tariffs on aluminum, and decreasing sales. Tough times are shuttering some, but as Alison Bamford explains, some breweries in the prairies are seeing a positive shift.
Taps are flowing at Regina's Rebellion Brewing, despite turbulent times over the last 5 years.
We've worked really hard, really diligently to get our business in order, to get our sales in order.
The pandemic, inflation, and changing consumer behavior set back Canada's craft beer industry. A report from Restaurants Canada shows 41% of Canadians reduced their alcohol consumption over the last year, citing health concerns, lifestyle changes, and money as the main drivers.
Consumers are going out less frequently, so you're seeing less beer sales in restaurants and bars and things like that, and craft breweries as well.
Canadian beer sales dropped 20% from 2019 to 2025.
It used to be you could just open your doors and sell a bunch of beer. That's just not the case anymore.
For the last 2 years, more Canadian breweries have closed than opened, a trend not seen in 15 years, according to beer educator Jason Foster. His stats show the total number of breweries dropped 2.9% in 2025, a gradual reduction he expects will continue for the next couple years.
The breweries that'll be left at the end of it, I think, will be stronger and the better for it.
Brewers say fluctuation is normal in any industry, and the taps aren't drying up. The latest numbers show craft beer sales are up year over year in Saskatchewan and Alberta. At Rebellion, sales have jumped for the last 6 months, and the Regina-based brewery is opening a new tap room in Saskatoon.
We're feeling really confident going into 2026.
And that's something he'll drink to. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Jeff has the work week weather when we return. Plus, car crash research sheds light on the risk of consecutive concussions. Outside of the cold, Jeff, it's not too often we can say that the prairies were a little bit better in terms of weather than out on the East Coast, Ontario, all those places.
Yeah, really, you're absolutely right. It was cold, but we did not get the hammering storms that hit not just us, but obviously we talked about the U.S. getting it, and certainly Ontario, I believe Toronto, at least at Pearson Airport, the snowiest January in history, and they had a very snowy weekend. Downtown Toronto, 56 centimeters of snow, so plenty of shoveling there in the big smoke. But across the prairies, the polar vortex still a thing, but it really is starting to abate a little bit in Alberta and parts of western Saskatchewan. Eastern Saskatchewan still on the cold side, and it's going to take its time to get out of the Manitoba area, but slowly but surely we're going to be warming up here in Saskatchewan. So let's take a look at some numbers, or rather future casts. First of all, as you can see, not much in the way of active weather, a little something starting to show up in Alberta, but it wrings itself out before it reaches our province. And as you can see, those pressure lines are quite far apart, so we do not anticipate much of a windy situation in the next 24 hours. But it's still cold, and these cold temperatures do come with a more than just a risk of frostbite in minutes in some cases. Minus 27 in Spiritwood, minus 25 for the Battlefords, minus 29 the overnight temperature in Candle Lake, minus 28 for Birch Hills, Rosthern, and Melfort, an expected overnight temperature of minus 27 in Nipawin and area. But tomorrow, temperatures are getting back to more seasonal values. Not quite there, but close to it in Spiritwood with a high of minus 14. The Battlefords minus 13. Still on the chilly side in Candle Lake at minus 18. That's true of Birch Hills at minus 19. Minus 17 in Rosthern. Minus 18 in Nipawin and minus 19 in Melfort. You can see a little bit more sunshine in Nipawin, but it doesn't exactly warm things up. All right, on to Prince Albert. So overnight tonight, minus 28 degrees, frostbite in minutes. So please be careful with that exposed skin. and keep warm as well as you can. Winds out of the northwest at 15 kilometers an hour. Tomorrow, not much of a wind. Winds out of the west at 10. And still a risk of frostbite, though. Minus 18 is the daytime high. So that's about 5 degrees below seasonal. And then as we roll into to Thursday, we've got our Wednesday, rather, minus 18. But Thursday, minus 15 degrees. Still a little bit below seasonal, but above seasonal temperatures starting on Friday. Minus 10 for a daytime high in Prince Albert, an area. Minus 3 with a slight chance of flurries on Saturday. Minus 6 on Sunday and minus 5 on Monday. So starting off the month of February, relatively mild conditions.
Like we needed a reason to look forward to the weekend, right? Or at least another reason.
Well, there's another reason. There you go.
Perfect. Thanks, Jeff. Well, the Prince Albert Raiders' latest 3-3 gives the team a little bit of breathing room at the top of the Eastern Conference standings. After wins against Moose Jaw and Swift Current, the Medicine Hat Tigers rolled through town on Saturday.
Through traffic that's blocked, and down goes Lou in front. Oiring out of the air, he scores!
Aiden Oiring scored 2, Brandon Gorzinski scored 2, and the Raiders' power play was 3 for 5 on the way to a 5-1 win over the Tigers. The win gives the Prince Albert a 4-point lead in the Eastern Conference standings over Medicine Hat with 1 fewer game played than the Tigers. The Raiders head to Moose Jaw Tuesday, then a home-and-home with the Saskatoon Blades this weekend. The 59th annual Knights of Columbus Indoor Games brought more than 3,000 athletes to Saskatoon over the weekend. The indoor track and field meet includes the elementary school relays, the high school showcase, college competitions, and the international invitational. Some athletes have gone on to represent Canada on the international stage or even at the Olympics. The event has grown over the years to inspire youth athletes, giving them the chance to compete alongside and learn from world-class competitors like 2-time shot put champion Sarah Mitten.
Like my favorite moment from today is like there's like little girls out there who come up and like they're gonna throw shot put and they ask me like what should they do, and like for me it's like a full circle moment. Obviously, like I wasn't that little when I started shot put, but like the fact that they're interested in shot put as like an 8 to 10-year-old girl for me is like so inspiring, because that's like I didn't really have that growing up, so I think that's really cool to be that for them.
The Knights of Columbus Indoor Games were Saskatchewan's first indoor track meet when the event was held in 1965.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
A report from the Canadian Federation of Independent Business says Canadian physicians are losing millions of hours each year to red tape. The report shows Saskatchewan, along with Alberta and Ontario physicians, reported the highest number of hours spent on administrative work per week. It also found family physicians were more likely to be burdened by administrative paperwork than other specialists.
They spend on average around 10 hours per week or more just filling out paperwork. So that takes time away from their ability to serve patients, and it leads to burnout. We hear from many physicians in the survey we conducted that, you know, they're thinking about cutting back hours or leaving the medical profession altogether because of the burnout that they're facing.
According to the CFIB, around 80% of doctors would use more free time for work-life balance. About half of those surveyed would spend more time with existing patients or take on new ones. Research into the long-term effects of head injuries resulting from a car crash has shed light on the increased risk of subsequent concussions. Pauline Chan has more.
Researcher Donald Redelmeyer says for every person that dies in a motor vehicle accident, 6 others are left with permanent injuries. And while some of the more common factors considered in long-term disabilities include the severity of injuries, length of hospital stay, and concurrent mental illnesses, another factor came up.
The big surprising finding was that a past history of concussions was associated with a 15% further increase in the risk of long-term disability. And these might have been concussions that occurred years and years before the actual motor vehicle crash.
Redelmeyer says the message goes beyond trying to avoid getting into a car crash.
If you have had one or more past concussions, drive safely, especially late at night, which we found were associated with the highest risks of long-term disability. Suggesting that once you've had a concussion, you may not be exactly the same, even though you feel the same, you just don't have that same reserve capacity to recover from the next bad thing that comes along.
Another study looking at the long-term impact of concussion is out of the University Health Network.
Even just that repetitive head impact where people don't even realize that they're having a concussion could be setting you up for delayed neurodegeneration decades later.
The finding is especially significant for parents and childhood sports instructors. Dr. Carmela Tartaglia cites sports like boxing, hockey, football, rugby, and soccer, especially for girls, who she says are especially vulnerable to concussions. The message from Tartaglia's study?
Even one concussion can put you at risk of dementia. And so, of course, this idea that, you have to protect your brain throughout all of your life.
She hopes attitudes, especially in sports, which are most likely to be a child's first exposure to concussions, will continue to evolve. For example, setting age limits to begin heading the ball in soccer. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
All right, Jeff, grab your energy drinks and your flat-brimmed caps because the most decorated athlete in Winter X Games history has added to his haul. Regina's Mark McMorris won the men's snowboard slopestyle event in Aspen, Colorado on Sunday. McMorris now has a total of 12 gold medals at the X Games and a total of 25 medals in his career. He'll look to win a 4th Olympic medal in Italy next month. And Jeff, what is it about Saskatchewan punching above their weight now in skiing and snowboarding too?
Well, I know Mark McMorris has been doing it for years. And of course, Maya Schwinghammer is off to the Cortina Games as well. And it's going to be great to have them both on the slopes.
Can't forget Brittany Hudak. Just think if we had mountains in this province.
They're overrated.